Welcome to another session of the Women Veteran Entrepreneurs Podcast. My name is Omar Mohammed, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. This podcast is a network for building capacity, and it's powered by Truist Bank. I'm not the only one on here, as you can see. My co-host over there is retired Major General Linda Singh. Major
Good
General,
morning.
how are you?
Fine. How are you?
Hey, improving and progressing, can't complain. You know, I was going to say that. Absolutely. So we always have a special guest, and today we have Crystal Showell. Did I say that last name correct?
Correct. Yes.
How are you, Crystal?
I'm good. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yep, and thank you for being a part of this as well. So let's kick this off like we always kick it off. So what branch of the military did you serve, and how long did you serve?
Okay. I served in the Coast Guard for 11 years. I chose the Coast Guard because I didn't know anyone else had been in the Coast Guard, and I love the water. But I love all military branches, but Coast Guard was the one I chose.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And let's talk about transferable skills. So, how did the Coast Guard prepare you for entrepreneurship, if you will?
Well, the military, the Coast Guard gives you discipline. It gives you drive. It gives you stamina. It gives you a purpose. It gives you focus. Um, but most of all, it gives you a sense of being a part of a team. Entrepreneurship is not about self. It's about working for others, with others. And the military just prepared me to be a leader. Um, I feel honored to be a part of the military, to be a veteran. Just that group of elite individuals, kind of gives you that support. So it grew me while I was there, but it supports me while I'm a veteran as well.
Mm. So those are some good characteristics that you mentioned, especially around entrepreneurship, discipline, drive, focus, and being part of a team. All are needed to be in business. So glad to hear that those were some good transferable skills. Did you want to jump
Yes.
in, Nisha?
Yeah. I think, along with that, Crystal, if you could tell us what your role and job was while you were in the Coast Guard would be helpful, because I think that helps to set the context for how you're going forward.
Yes, I was very fortunate. I had some wonderful jobs while I was in the Coast Guard, some wonderful tours. I started out as a seaman, of course. And from there, I went to subsistence specialist. I was cooking for a couple of years. And then from there, I went into leadership roles. As an E3, I became the manager of the Officers Club. And that position was what sparked me into business. It led me to want to be a manager, to want to be a part of the acquisitions process. I also was the housing officer, so that started my career in contracting. I had wonderful positions. I was giving a lot of I guess, freedom to, I guess, lead the organization or manage the organization the best way that I saw. So it gave me a chance to learn those skills and use those skills as well. But it showed that people put trust in me, and that really, grew my drive for entrepreneurship and for management and for government and contracting.
So I know, we sent out some questions, and I know this is not one of the questions, but I need to know. So what drives you to do the things that you do?
Well, several things actually. One is just my inner goals. I have goals of my own that I'd like to reach. Of course, family,
Mm,
and just the community. I, I enjoy being a leader. I enjoy mentoring, teaching others, helping others to meet their goals and see their opportunities.
mm.
I enjoy sharing my time and just giving back. So that's pretty much what drives me is probably my caring spirit for others.
Right. So we always hear this question, were you born an entrepreneur or were you made into an entrepreneur? And the same thing with leadership. Were you
Right.
born a leader or were you born in, were you given the opportunity to be in leadership? So uh, I think it's both, but that's just me. But I want to hear, it's all about you today, Crystal. What do you think about leadership?
I think it's both also. I think some, like myself, were born into leadership and entrepreneurship. Being
Mm.
the only female with 9 brothers, you have to
Oh,
be a
wow.
leader. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Either that or
Wow.
you'll get
Wow.
stomped on. So, yeah.
Wow.
Right. So I
Wow.
think it goes, definitely leaders can be taught. I'm actually taking some leadership courses right now. So I know
Mhm.
it's, skills that even that if you do have, you can grow. If you don't
Mhm.
have, you can learn and
Mm.
acquire.
Absolutely. And some of those leadership skills you said you received while you were in the Coast Guard, and you're continuing with on that path of making sure that your leadership skills are moving forward. So that's one of the again, good trait for entrepreneurs. Learning never stops. Learning
That's
never stops.
correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's transition now and let's find out what you do. So what tell us about your business.
Okay. So I currently do have a business. It's a residential service agency. It's called Jolly Care. It's with the state of Maryland. I'm in the process of working on my license right now. I also am a full-time employee of the federal government. So I have this dual career going on right now, but I'm planning to shift my focus to full-time to my business. I'm planning to do that by the end of this year. Hopefully, I will have my license at that time and move forward. If you're not quite familiar with a residential service agency, that's an agency that goes into the homes and helps individuals, live, just do their daily activities, have companionship and that sort of activities.
Absolutely. All right.
So do you, so my question, as you're thinking about this, do you have your business plan laid out?
I do. I have my business plan laid out. I have most of my documents that I need for my license. I'm working on that big policy manual that the state of Maryland require. And once I finish that, I'm hoping to submit my application by the 26th of this month.
Nice. That's great. What organizations in Maryland are you working with that's helping you to put together? Are you using any of the free resources?
Well, I actually just signed up for a few classes with the SBA. I have 3 classes
Uh,
next week. So I'm looking forward to that.
mm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it should be required that, as you think about, I used to be a lender, and sometimes entrepreneurs get stuck on the business plan because they want to do like a 50-page plan.
Yes.
Look, if you could do a 1 to 2 page executive summary just to get your thoughts on paper, and then you could kind of plan it out from there. I think it should be required. Not the business plan. I just wanted to mention something about the business plan since we're talking about the business plan. Well, I wanted to talk about this policies and procedures. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been working with entrepreneurs who want to go, they want to extend themselves, meaning, duplicate themselves so that they can work on the business versus in the business. And I'm like, okay, so where's your SOP, standard operating procedures manual, or your handbook? and they don't have it. And I'm
Mm,
glad to hear that the state requires that to have it. But even if the state
yes,
didn't require, you look like the type of person that you would have one already.
absolutely. You have to have policies, regulations, standards.
Yeah.
That's that military background. Have to
Yes.
have that. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, are you writing the manual yourself, or are you engaging someone else to write the manual for you,
I
with
am
your
writing
input,
it.
of course?
I am writing it myself, and it's a
Wow.
lot of work, but I know if I write it myself, it'll be exactly what I want it to be and need it to be. Not to say that I couldn't get that on the outside, but
Mhm.
I want it to be my development, my
Mm,
creation.
absolutely. And the same thing with the business plan too. When I was a lender, there people made some good money writing business plans for other people. The
Mhm.
problem was when they came in front of me, they couldn't tell me anything about the business. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad that you're taking that step with that.
Mhm.
So what led you to residential care?
Well, unfortunately, I lost my mother last year, and I was
Condolences.
able to take a year off from the federal government to care for her. A lot of adult children aren't able to do that. And there's a lot of need there. There's a lot of elderly, disabled, just individuals that need that support, that would benefit from someone just showing them attention, time,
Yeah.
love and care, and I want to make sure that, my staff have the same
Mm,
purpose and goals and drive and inner spirit that I have. And I don't want to, you hear so many horror stories about how elderly are being treated. I want to make sure that I can do my best to just put a smile on someone's face, make them more comfortable, just give them some peace and joy in their elderly or their conditions that they may be in.
hmm Absolutely. Well, we commend you for that as well. And again,
Absolutely.
thank you for
Thank
your
you.
service on that. All
Thank you.
right. So full time and entrepreneur. All right. How are you balancing this act, if you will?
Well, it's a lot of sacrifice, and
Mm,
again, the military prepared me for that. I'm actually a
mm.
full-time doctoral student as well, so
Wow.
my plate is so full. Yeah, yes.
Wow.
But the military tells you, you can't call out sick. You have to get in there and get the job done, till the end, So
Yeah.
it taught me
Wow.
discipline. The discipline is the main thing. The oh gosh, the mental capacity, the physical capacity, just to overcome the stress and the
Mm,
physical tiredness. There's
yeah.
so much mental strain on, having a business, being a full time federal government employee, supervisor,
Oh wow.
and yes,
Mm.
but
Wow.
I, you know, those mornings when that alarm clock get off, I remember those days in the military where I had to get up, so I
Right.
just show up every day.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm. I like that term. Show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I like the term show up. I say that all the time to folks is that you have to show up. But Crystal,
Show
one
up.
of the things that there's a couple of things that you said that just really hits home, and I'm hoping that people get it. Is the the first piece is really about how you are positioning yourself with continuing to work, and then work on your business so that you have a better launch point. And individuals, they don't sometimes they don't understand that, right? I mean, it took me a number of years where I started my business before I actually launched because I wasn't at the point of ready to really be launching in that sense of where I was working my business. The other piece that you bring up is the business that you're in this care of our elderly, right? Or even individuals that need that assistance. That ties so directly back to this thing of service, which you've kind of served, and now you're taken it a step further to serve. And what I've seen is, veterans who connect that level of service are happier because it allows them to, even though they're not still in the military, but to serve the community in a different way. So I think it's very interesting that you've kind of made this connection for yourself.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. It was a journey, it was definitely a journey trying to figure out exactly how I could give back and how I could continue to serve. But you're right, it's just so exciting to me, to be able to, and it's so rewarding to have an idea, a business that I could just feel so passionate about and just so honored to participate in. It's not just about a business. It's not just about financial gain for me. It's about helping others, and that's the main focus. And also, being an entrepreneur is, my goal, but how do you take that to internalize that?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, so what are some resources you need to assist you with the entrepreneurship journey piece, to move from the position where you are now to full-time entrepreneurship, and while you're at your full time, what resources could you benefit from?
Well, I'm always in need of a good mentor,
Mm,
even though I am a mentor to others. I still can benefit from other entrepreneurs that
mm,
have years of experience, have paved the way for entry level entrepreneurs like myself. Just that coaching and support, and just to know that um, if I have a question, I know where I can go, or someone that I can talk it through with. That's the main, um, probably the main thing that I have lacking at this point in my phase of entrepreneurship. Of course, time is another resource that I'm just trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
get more of, but those 24 hours in a day is about all I'm going to get, so
yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Well, so I think the mentor piece is important. One of the things that we're doing at Morgan State University is we're doing some research with 10 entrepreneurs. I mean, these are solo entrepreneurs, and we're surrounding them with an advisory board. So every month, first of all, the entrepreneur comes to the meeting with a plan of action for the whole year.
Mhm.
It's going to change. It's going to change.
Right.
However, they set these milestones, and they come to the advisory board, three individuals, an accountant, somebody in marketing, and somebody in business processes, and they provide them with feedback. So I mean, I always say that you look at these big corporations, they have board of directors that guide them along the way. So if you are incorporated, especially if you're a nonprofit, you have to have a board of directors. And if you're incorporated, you have to have a board of directors, depending on how big or small you are. But solo entrepreneurs can have an advisory board, maybe not meeting on a monthly basis, maybe on a quarterly basis.
Mhm.
So that may be one of the items that you pick up, strategies you pick up to really help you along the way, because it holds you accountable. Because every
Yes.
month or every quarter, you need to report out.
Right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes. Sounds very interesting, and something I would definitely would like to know more about.
Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely get you the information. Now, the time piece, I can't help you. I'm looking for some time too. So if you could create, hey, maybe we could create a business where we create more time.
Yes.
Because we definitely need more time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that
Yes.
Yeah. All
requires
right.
such a high level of certification to create more time that I don't think any of us are going to achieve that.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Krista, what advice would you give to other veterans who are uh, one looking to go into entrepreneurship and who are probably doing what you're doing, working full time and doing entrepreneurship at the same time? What advice would
Yes.
you give to them?
Well, the main advice I would give is to, you know, give yourself some time, set some time aside. If it's no more than a couple hours, Saturday, a couple hours Sunday, you have to give yourself some time and just focus and prepare yourself mentally. You have to
Mm,
prepare yourself educational wise. And you have to prepare your expectations. Um, the main thing I would like to, I guess, say is to sometimes you have to take small steps to get where you really would like to be. For instance, my federal career, I started as an intern. And within 3 years, I was at the supervisory level. So, don't think any job is too small. You may have 11, 20 years in the military, but get your foot in the door. If federal government is where you want to stay to continue your service and get your years in, then get your foot in the door. There's plenty of movement around in the federal government. You can go
yeah.
from state to state, position to position until you get that right fit. Don't feel like you have to have the answers to exactly what you want to do next. Give yourself some time to experience different avenues, different positions, different organizations. Um, and it'll come to you. Don't force it. It will come. That drive, that love that you have, that compassion that you have, it'll speak to you. It'll come to you. Just, you have to listen for it and you have to give yourself some time to recognize it when it does come.
I love it. Time. We keep coming up with that word time.
Yes, yes, you have to
Yes.
put the time in.
Yes.
You do.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mhm.
Absolutely. All right. How can people reach out to you if they want to learn more about your business? You have a LinkedIn
Well,
profile or a website?
yes. Well, I don't have my website up at this moment. You can reach
Okay.
out to me by email at crshowell, SHOWELL 01 or SHOWELL Crystal at gmail.com.
All right, well, good deal. So we always are teaching and learning on these. We call them workshops, even though it's a podcast. When you get your website up and running, we're gonna get rid of Yahoo and Gmail because you don't work for Yahoo and
Absolutely.
Gmail.
Absolutely.
Do
Yes.
you have a LinkedIn profile?
I do. I do have a LinkedIn
Would you?
profile.
Okay. Would you like to
Um,
share that?
I don't know it actually.
So I'm assuming they can find you by Crystal.
Yes.
All right, good,
Yes.
good
They
deal.
can definitely find me and reach out to me, and I will definitely link up with them there.
All right, good deal. All right, Major General, any final thoughts, any comments before we go to break?
Yeah, I would say, Crystal, I'm wishing you well. Again, thank you for your service. And just keep in mind that, you really want to set the tone and your vision and your image. And your image resides on that social media platform. So the social media platform has to be some of those initial pieces that you work on, even though I know we all like to stay away from the technology. But
Yeah,
that can be, especially for the business that you're going in, is connecting to families out there that, you know, this is one thing that we can't prevent. We can't prevent getting older, and you're in the business of servicing those who are in that space. And so thank you.
Thank you also for your service as well.
all right, good deal. Well, Crystal, we really appreciate you coming on to the Wave podcast and looking forward to hear some great things about your business as you are moving forward in this journey. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for our next resource, our resource to come on. We're not having a panel, our resource to come on and share with us some information to help you to continue building capacity. So stay tuned for that. And again, Crystal, thank you. And thank you for your service.
Thank you as well.
All right, welcome back to the Wave Podcast. My name is Omar Mohammed, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. My co-host over there is retired Major General Linda Singh. We're back. How are you? You good?
Doing good. I am excited to hear what our guest has today.
All right, good deal. So, as part of the Wave podcast, we always bring on a resource to really expand the entrepreneur's toolbox. And today we have Stephen Colella. He is a program director for the Midatlantic Veterans Business Outreach Center. Stephen, welcome to the Wave podcast. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Omar. Thanks, Linda. I really appreciate you having me on.
All right, good deal. Well, the show is yours, man. So tell us what I guess it's, in the government, they always have these acronyms and they say it out. So the VBOC, is that how you say it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right.
So we're really excited to be one of the newest resource partners on the block. We've been fortunate to receive a grant from the Small Business Administration to launch a Veterans Business Outreach Center in Maryland. So we're based out of the University of Maryland, and we'll be providing services to veteran entrepreneurs across a pretty wide geographic region. We cover Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and the district. And so as we get ourselves up and running and start working on services, we'll be working with folks in all of those areas, providing consulting and training and technical assistance.
So when you say training, so is there going to be an entrepreneurial training component? And then if a veteran needs one-on-one business counseling, that's what you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's actually a really good segue. So the VBOC is responsible for delivering the Boots to Business training program, which is part of the congressionally mandated transition assistance program that all service members are required to go through when they separate. And so we actually provide that training at 16 military installations throughout our coverage area.
Wow. I'm sorry. So Steven, so say that again. You said it's required for service members?
For active duty service members.
Yeah. So active duty service members, it is one track they can take. They're not necessarily required to choose the entrepreneurship track, but it is one track. The other track is career readiness. So.
Wow. I did not know that. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And the challenge with it is that they only do it for active duty because they do it at active duty installations. It is available even for non-active duty members, but you have to know that it exists. And it's an amazing program. So they do a great job from the transition perspective.
Yeah. And so actually that's another really good point, Linda, is the SBA kind of acknowledges that disparity when it comes to providing services for veterans that either may not know what's going on base or may not have access to base. And so that's why they created the Boots to Business Reboot program, which we actually provide in partnership with the SBA district offices. And so that it's the exact same course, the exact same information and material, but we provide it. Currently, we're providing them online thanks to the pandemic, but we're looking forward to moving back to in-person classes soon.
Well, that's in itself is a good resource for active men because we're focused on two. We're focused on the veterans and their spouses, so the spouse can participate in what we're doing as well. And I'm assuming that's the same thing with Boots to Business, or is it different?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So we work with veterans, military spouses, independents, reservists, the whole gamut.
Okay. All right. All right. What else? What else? I mean, you gave us a lot of information. We want to know more. Tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Boots to Business is the primary directive of the VBOC. But in addition to that, we are, we're a full service resource partner, just like other SBA programs. And so, one of the things that we're actually very excited about is building relationships within what we call the economic development ecosystem. And so actually, being able to connect people with the right resources at the right time. So we work very closely with the Small Business Development Center, Women's Business Centers, SCORE, PTAC, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And in addition to local economic development offices, chambers of commerce, local business associations, trade groups. So we're really excited to be here as a navigator as well to help connect veteran entrepreneurs with the resources that they need. And like you mentioned earlier, that they may not know are out there for them.
Right.
So Omar, that's part of what I was saying, that there's so many resources. Like having that navigator, it's just like, I need a personal navigator just to say, okay, Sing, go over here at this moment and see this person. You don't need to see them today, but 2 months down the road would be good.
Absolutely, and I believe the SBA has that grant out to get these SBA community navigators. You're right, because newbie entrepreneurs, I mean, they'll go everywhere. With these entrepreneurial training classes, they'll jump in and out of them, and it's like, stop, do your business plan, do your business plan, and stop jumping around. So I'm glad to see that you are a part of the ecosystem, and we're here as well over at Morgan State University. We just received funding to do a women veterans opportunity, so we definitely will plug people into what you all are doing at the VBOC as well.
Awesome.
Yep. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and then just as far as additional resources go. One of the, I guess, one or two of the biggest ones that I'd like to point out are that after folks participate in Boots to Business, they probably have more questions than they went in with. We go in with this approach of you don't know what you don't know. And so Boots to Business is a really good opportunity. It's a 2-day intensive for us to point out all the things that you don't know. But it's not enough time for us to actually really go in on a deep dive and actually cover that material. And so there's a couple of follow-on programs that are phenomenal resources that we like to recommend to people after Boots to Business. So the first one is actually another SBA funded program. And that is the Boots to Business Revenue Readiness course, and that's a cohort that's operated out of Mississippi State. But they take participants from all over the country, and they just have the same eligibility requirements that we do. That they're an active duty service member, veteran, or otherwise military connected individual. And it's a 6-week program, and they do some pretty intensive training. I think it's a couple nights a week. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, getting that business plan done is key. And so one of the deliverables of that program is actually walking away with a complete business plan. And then the second program that is very, I don't want to say it's similar to Boots to Business Revenue Readiness, but it's designed in a similar intensive kind of way with similar deliverables, is actually Project Opportunity. And so if you haven't met Joe Giordano from Project Opportunity, he's absolutely someone you've got to have on your podcast at some point. But he's a phenomenal individual that founded a nonprofit to provide training to veterans and military spouses. So he's been really doing a great job of laying the groundwork throughout the state of Maryland, and just a really awesome guy. So
and I know him as well. So Yeah, so good deal. So I'm glad that there are some follow-on services as well. And you're at the University of Maryland, so there are a ton of resources down there that entrepreneurs can plug into to get
Definitely.
started. Absolutely. All right. Any final thoughts that you have?
No, just that we're really excited to be here, and we're excited to be, able to provide these services to our veterans. So.
All right, and how can people reach out to you?
So we are still fairly new, so we're working on getting
Yeah.
our website up and running.
Okay.
But I can absolutely send you my contact info, and then as we get our website up and running, and as we get staffed up, we'll definitely make sure that you have that and can share that with folks.
All right. Well, good deal. And are people registering for the class now, or you all are still getting that set up?
Yeah. So Boots to Business is one of the areas that we definitely hit the ground running when our program started. I think we've been up and running for just about 2 months, and we've taught 8 or 9 sessions of Boots to Business.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So folks can register for Boots to Business anytime. I believe the website, and I'll double check it, is sbavets.force.com. And they can register for both Boots to Business and Reboot. The only catch is that with Boots to Business, because it's a requirement of the Transition Assistance Program, they also need to register with the TAP manager on their installation to make sure that they get credit for participating.
Good deal. Any comments, Major General Singh?
Yeah, and just to make sure that folks know, so that when you come through that transition piece, so for National Guard and reservists, usually when you come back from a deployment, you are required to go through the transition office. So it's slightly different. And as you go through that transition office, they should ask you, do you want either of these services, or are you interested in both? And so just so that we make sure that it's full spectrum. And when they ask you, do you want to go through the transition services, don't say no, say yes, so that you can hear about all the benefits that's available to you. So that was like, something that caught me by surprise a little bit when I was coming back from Afghanistan. And they were asking me for these services, and I'm like, but I'm working full time. And they go, but this is a right that you get, right? So just make sure that you take advantage of those services as they're asking them from the transition office.
Absolutely. So yeah, take advantage of those opportunities. These are your tax dollars. I always tell people this is your tax dollars at work. And if you're not working it, they're going to work you. So use those tax dollars wisely. So Stephen, I really appreciate you coming on to the Women Veteran Entrepreneurs podcast, and we'll definitely be in touch. I'm glad to see you part of the ecosystem. So we're part of the ecosystem too. So let's work together on that. So really appreciate you coming on. Any other final thoughts, Major General Singh, before we leave?
Nope, I think this was an excellent resource conversation. So thank you, Stephen, and you, Omar. So thanks.
All right, good deal. All right, so to find past episodes of the Wave Podcast, you can visit EDAC Morgan, that's EDAC Morgan.com, all one word. If you're looking to be a guest, Steve, if you have some entrepreneurs that could be a good resource for this, connect with us. I'll send you the link. I think Don Tucker sent you the link, but I'll send you the link as well, to get them on so we can hear their stories as well. We also are on social media at the Wave Podcast. That's WVE, Women Veteran Entrepreneurs Podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. And if you want to be on the show, just send me an email, omar@edacmorgan.com. Until next time, continue your efforts in capacity building, and don't forget, improve and progress. See you next time. Take care.